There we go. We're live. Oh, that trick works. Okay, no, that fixed it. Yay, it's fixed. The trick is to not have something full over it, so even if I see a little bit of Discord window, it actually stays on. That's stupid. Oh my god, I just go live. It's like, what happens if I shrink it? And then maybe I could, finagle it a bit, and it's working now.
Yay!
This is dumb.
It is dumb.
Technical difficulties aside, what's up, everyone? No, wait, what's up, everyone?
The sky?
No, I have a ceiling.
My mood?
That's a good thing. Anyhow, welcome to D&D with your Dungeon Master, Kotlol. I am your Dungeon Master, Kotlol, because I like being, redundant.
Same thing.
And unoriginals, too. I like my originalities. I do. Today, we are joined by the lovely people that run this campaign. As in, running it from... Oh, I run it, but, they're running through the world and... articulation. We're joined by Aeon.
Hello.
Inga.
Hello.
Zeal.
Hey, yo.
Moon.
Hello.
And someone who we're missing, but they might join in an hour or so.
If we're still going. Pretty sure we will be, but...
Uh-huh. Oh god, this is an annoying combination.
What?
A yawn and a sneeze at the same time.
Ow.
That's why I pulled that face, because I both had to sneeze and yawn, which is about the same expression. Yeah, imagine that. So you can yawn because you got to sneeze, but at the same time you can sneeze because you got to yawn.
Oh, boy.
It's on my eyeballs. Anyhow, last time, which been a month, because we took the April break because of tax month.
Meh.
Which probably won't happen again, but hey. Oh, Legion here. Hello, Legion. Prime Gaming account only. What? But hey there. That's a really interesting username. It's like, hey, Prime account gaming only. It's like, what? Last time, we were... We were not joined. We were going through the remainder of the bunker. Because, well, we were trying to find who was behind the kidnapping of the nobles. And, well, I could say a lot of important story was made, but to be honest, people were just going around the place, getting infected by diseases, fighting off mercenaries, and eventually poking the prisoners in their cells.
Chasing the boss.
And then, when they finally found who's behind the operation, they just simply took care of it without any lethals going off, which is nice. It's very nice, isn't it? So now they have captured the people behind it. They saved the nobility. And they turned the people in to the proper authorities thanks to a polymorph and a charm spell. Yeah. I'm not upset if we didn't get an epic battle.
Sure you're not.
I am not upset at all.
Sure.
Anyway, so now that we left off with that, we are gonna go. We left off. Let me check my notes double.
I think we were in the guardhouse.
Oh yeah, you showed the guardhouse. I thought so. There we go. Yeah, it's just right here. And
I think we were waiting for Richard to show up.
were you?
I'm not sure. I think. That's in the back of my mind.
Oh yeah, it says right here. Richard is on his way. I might have say something else there for as a shorter word, but you know, I'm immature like that. It's my
Sure.
notes. So, with that, after some time passes, well, you're all helping the nobles get better, getting them fed, they have a bit of a rest. And some of them already head home safely, being taken by any of their
Being
servants
guarded.
or guards.
Yeah.
Eventually, with it. There I go again, tripping over my only words before I even trip over them. It's like, I'm gonna save maybe something up trip. That said, you went. So, you're at the police station. Well, police station, guardhouse.
Guardhouse.
Police station, guardhouse, same difference, but it's not police because it's guard, because medieval time. But context. You went inside. You waited. And eventually, within the span of a few hours, Veronica, you notice a man entering the building, and it is your brother-in-law, Richard.
Oh, good to see. Do I get up and go over to get him over here?
Okay.
Richard!
There we are. And he walks over to you.
He's
So-
over here. Come on.
Yeah.
And I lead him over to where Basil is.
So he looks at his brother, who still looks a bit tired, and he looks at all of you. Well, it appears you've all done well with your own endeavors. Solved the case before anyone else did.
Don't ask how. This was just a stroke of dumb luck, I think.
Well, it's better that we have some dumb luck on our side than
Yeah.
taking months to solve this problem. Might even spread it comes amongst the noble, not noble, amongst the common folk. And that would have only caused more issues.
Yeah. It's a good thing we managed to wrap this up quickly.
Indeed, we have. So,
And I take my seat next to Basil again.
he looks at the rest of you. So, have you apprehended the culprits?
Well, two of them, whether or not they're the masterminds of the whole thing, I'm not 100% sure.
I see. Best leave that to the officials. How much I would love to. Ask my own questions. I am not equipped for long interrogations right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, shall we head on home then?
Would probably be smart. I would assume you arranged a carriage at least?
Naturally, I'm not gonna have my tired brother walk all the way home.
Good. So, I help Basil up to his feet.
The tired figure of your husband leans onto you, and well, you carry him into the carriage just outside. What are the rest of you doing?
Join them.
What?
Join them? Doesn't go with them.
Go with them?
Fireball?
That's such a good idea. Okay.
First mention fireball, 10 minutes.
Not even.
Barely. Like, it's only off by like 20 seconds.
Fireball.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, I guess you all get into the carriage and you go all the way back to the lovely little mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, that's not zooming out. That is not zooming out. There. You find yourself back at the mansion. The mansion of the Viscount. With that said, you're welcomed by the from the servants, who are happy to see that their master has returned. And yeah, they pretty much take Basil to the master bedroom to, you know, he can get some rest, he can get some more food, and rest up. So he's gonna be fine. And you're all still approached by well, pretty much Richard speaks up. I will make sure that to take care of all the paperwork, so that the Royal Investigation Team is up to date.
Good.
Is there anything curious you wish to report?
Might have to ask the Baron to write his own add-ons. Speaking of which, he also has a few questions to ask for our prisoners. We'll have to let him know that we finally apprehended them.
I see. I will make sure a messenger is sent to the Barons. Yes. And were they in the cellar or were they in a different location?
They were in a bunker.
One of the old bunkers. Curious. After all, the bunker should have been sealed off.
Should have been, which is probably why it was such a perfect hiding spot.
Indeed. Considering they kidnapped nobility, maybe... Curious. I wish I would know more, but those old bunkers should have only opened via a magical key that is only within the palace walls.
Oh my god. That's the last thing we need, royal intervention. Because if that's what's going on, then we're in real big trouble here.
It wouldn't make sense for the royals to even go after their own nobility. It must have been stolen at one point.
Let's hope that that's the case, because I don't think I'm ready for if it's not.
I don't think any of us are. It would be a travesty if the king, or if the current king is even behind it in any sort of way. It would literally tear this whole country apart. Well then, I shall be in the office writing some reports. Thank you, Veronica, for finding my brother and being your own valuable self.
Gee, thanks for the compliment, jerk.
And he
On
goes...
a side note, I haven't actually seen the little one around here. Is she running around the city again, looking for Basil as well, or what is she doing?
The little one? You have to refresh my mind. You know I do not know the servants as well as you do.
Poppy.
Poppy. I'm not sure. You should probably ask the maids.
May as well do that. That girl's gonna get herself in trouble otherwise, knowing her.
Fine then. And he retreats to his office. So yeah, you got some time to kill at the moment. So I guess you're all gonna have a hearty, deserved dinner and discuss things.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you may discuss away, and I think some of you still want to check what kind of spoils you've got.
Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea.
Well, may as well.
So, as you all are sitting in the dining hall, not joined by Basil or Richard. Basil's probably resting because of the traumatic experience, and Richard doing his due diligence of writing, and probably eating in the office. You have your own wonderful feast. Soups, bread, meat, cheeses. Oh, delightful. And you even have a selection of free wines for those who enjoy it.
Fish?
There's also a bit of tuna and salmon.
Okay, good.
Just specially brought in for the turtle.
And I think I'm actually gonna get myself 1 glass of wine because I'm gonna need it after all that dish.
Only 1 glass?
I'll start with one and see where it gets me.
So, and okay, I guess not much is gonna be said. It's like,
Yeah, I've been talking a lot for the past part, so I'm waiting for someone else to take over.
yeah, that's what I'm waiting for as well. Alona, Raz. Nope.
Well, now we're on our own and away from prying eyes, and I retrieved the pouch that I lifted off the guard lady. Wonder what
Okay.
this is.
Do you open it?
Did you steal that from someone?
No, it was given to me.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
That's true.
So, as you open it, you look into it, and all you see is the black void. You're like, what? That looks like a very deep pouch if it's still this dark.
Is that a bag of holding?
I'm not saying anything.
I would like to pick up a wine bottle, and is the bottle bigger than the pouch?
Yes,
I drop the bottle into the pouch.
it disappears into the pouch. The pouch seems fine.
Ah,
You may roll a history or arcana check to, gauge what this is, but I think it's already obvious.
well, I have no proficiency in arcana or history, so that's even better.
This. Well, you're not the most astute person when it comes to magical items, but you know what? You're a roguish fellow at it after all, and most rogues would know this is a bag of holding.
I knew it!
Oh, this is going to come in handy.
Exactly. But yes, it was a bag of holding, but the reason I didn't say anything is because I just wanted to be a bit mysterious and have fun with it.
Now,
Oh.
one very important question. How do I get the wine bottle back?
Oh, how do you get things out of a bag?
I'm
Turn it
going to
upside
stick my
down.
hand in and rummage for the bottle.
You
cut it
put your
open.
arm deep within the bag and you think about grabbing the bottle and you pull out the bottle just fine.
A bag of holding. Fancy.
Can we get anything out that we don't know exists inside of it?
That was my question, actually. Is that possible, or is it just...
Yes.
Can do we know? Can we check whether we know how to do that?
You may roll an Arcana. Only
Oh,
Arcana for this
right.
one.
I will roll an Arcana.
11. You don't know how to get things exactly out. You just know that if the user thinks about it and reaches in, they will probably grab it. But if there's something else in the void of the bag, you just have to reach for it and hopefully find something useful if it's not your bag of holding.
Are we going to attempt to pull out what else is in there?
Roll me a D100.
Yeah.
Oh, God!
Oh,
It's a bag full of daggers.
$89.
Okay, let's see what was in this bag again. Ooh. You reach into the bag and you start looking feeling it a bit around, and then you feel like you grab a large orb of some sort. At least it feels a bit like an orb, but it has a bit of jagged edges of it. You pull it out. Inside you hold what looks like a... Well, it is ball-shaped, but it has hexagonal... what do you call it?
Surfaces.
Surfaces on it.
So it's like one big hexagonal shaped up.
Yeah.
I can't
Figure like a
of
disco ball in sort of a way. That's how I would describe it, but with hexagonals.
I have
So
no idea
basically
what
a
this is.
football, basically. Just smaller hexagons.
And every corner in those hexagonals have a bit of sharp corners in them. So it is indeed made of some sort of, well, you think it's glass, but you aren't sure about it. And it is a bit purplish and black in color.
What is that?
No idea. I might be able to tell you tomorrow. I'll just set it on the table.
Okay, you put down the table. Nothing happened, so...
Is there anything else in there?
What happens if you turn it upside down? Just shake it.
Are you gonna try it?
Are you?
I'm not saying anything.
No, but I don't have the bag.
Well, you put it down on
got
the
the head.
table, so anyone who...
Oh, I
I'll
take the
take
bag.
that.
I'll try
I
that.
thought he put the orb on the table.
Yeah, put the orb on the table. That's what it means. See when you the orb.
Yeah.
I
No,
start picking
I'm
up
actually
the
meant the bag.
Turn
That's
it
what-
upside
yeah.
down and shake it.
What, you want the bag?
Oh,
the
the
bag.
bag.
If
Sorry,
you
my
if you
mistake.
if you hold the bag upside down, what happens?
Yeah, that was the question.
I pick the bag up by the bottom and shake it over the table.
One moment, I need to double check this one if actually the contest fell out.
Stick your head in the bag and have a look.
Let's see. The bag is overload appears stored in disruption destroys the contest for are scanning the spread. If it's turned inside, it's contest. Okay, only if you turn it inside out will the contents spill forth.
Okay,
Do we know that? Do that.
it's a good question. Do we know that?
Not yet.
I also would not recommend sticking your head in.
Now I want to try turning it inside out.
Yeah, but the thing is, do we know that that's how you get everything out?
I mean, common sense, that's how I'd normally open a bag of loot. Oh,
All right, that
I'll
actually.
just do an Arcana check to see if or is that a history check if you remember how to
Arcana.
Open, to know how to open a bag of holding, or
Yeah, you have to know your magic at this or history if you want to, because if you think you've heard about it before.
yeah.
I
I'll just
mean,
do a history. I'll do a history check, see if I know.
I mean,
Uh,
Can
well, bags
can
of
I
hold.
help?
Ah!
There's a Meremy.
I'm a bit late.
Don't worry.
Hey.
People are messing with a bag of holding.
Yep, trying to get everything out.
You aren't really sure how to get things out of a bag of holding except putting your arm in. You do know that holding it upside down and shaking it will do nothing.
Okay, hold
Oh,
it.
this is not gonna get it better.
Nope, Ilona, you're like, I don't know either.
I don't remember exactly how you get anything out aside from sticking your hand in, but I'm pretty sure just holding it upside down defeats the purpose of it being a bag of holding.
What if I cast Firebolt inside the bag?
Don't!
having only just acquired this bag, I'm going to say no.
I thought it was.
He doesn't want to lose the bag. It's handy. So yeah, Robert, you're back in the mansion. You're having dinner. There's Brass pulled out a weird-looking black pepper roll with hexagonal patterns on it that has sharp edges on each hexagonal part of the pattern. And you're now messing with the bag of holding that the orb came from.
So does anyone else know how to get stuff out without putting our arm in? I'm thinking of something.
I get Fluff to maybe fly inside and search around.
No.
That's actually that crossed my mind, but no, I do love fluff. So
Yeah, you know you shouldn't put in living things because they will suffocate.
Yes.
Oh, do we know that?
Right.
Yes, you know that at the very least. Unless you can hold your breath for a while, it's best to not put a person or living being in a bag of holding because there's no air in there.
Can I get inside?
Say what?
Which?
Can I technically go inside?
How can you hold? You don't need to breathe, do you?
I don't think I do.
Yes, you can go inside the bag of holding if you want to.
Guys,
Yeah. Ozzy's can do that up to Nora as well.
you should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, then you can do that because there's no air.
Alright.
I hold the entrance to the bag of holding open.
Question is, can I get out?
We'll get you out. No worries.
Should we just give...
Wow.
Or not. We'll see.
Otherwise,
So-
just throw a rope inside. Maybe I can grab it.
Better idea,
can
just put a rope around your waist, just in case.
Or how about instead of doing all these truly dumb ideas, let's just go somewhere to someone who probably knows how this works. And ask
No,
them.
it's much more fun if you just go inside. I mean, we just have to put our hands in and then get you out. Think of you and get you out. So that's fine. You'll be fine.
I mean, I'm kind of skeptical about that.
Just go.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Well,
Uh,
here you go.
Do you go in?
Sure.
Okay, Robert. You noted that the bag's a bit small, but you open it more, you stick your head in, and then you get sucked in.
oh god!
And Robert, what you could witness is a dark, empty void, and then all kinds of little blinking lights in this is like stars and purple clouds flying by.
Mhm.
You feel in touch with the cosmos.
And I pass out.
No, you're still conscious. It's just a really weird experience for you.
Alright.
It is very trippy.
Can I message him while he's in there?
No.
Oh.
Alright.
I've got an idea. We write a message on the, stick it in the bottle, and we drop the bottle in the bag.
Am I able to spot any objects close by that I could maybe grab and have a look at?
Perception check.
God damn it, I'm currently in the level up thing. There, perception.
Isn't it pitch black inside?
DM interpretation.
Okay. Perception. There it is.
It is almost impossible to perceive anything. You just see the same thing around you. It's like you're not fully there. As you
Right.
look around more, you look in the distance, and then you suddenly see far into the distance something, and it comes close. And you look at it, and then it goes far away again, and you try to focus on it, but it's really hard. But it looks like a rolled up piece of parchment, and then it fades from your vision again.
Is it fireball?
I think of that piece of parchment I just saw and try to just grab it, like imagining that I'm grabbing it.
Nothing happens.
Sad, okay. So that only works from outside. Unless that thing isn't even there, actually. So.
So, people on the outside, what are you doing?
We just let him be.
Closing the
right?
bag, running away.
Yes.
Oh, that's one way to
I'm
end your
enjoying
character's
the
campaign.
quiet.
Oh, I kidnapped you now.
So, what's
How long do you reckon we should leave it before we pull him out?
Wait, we are going to pull him out?
Might be a
Oh.
smart idea.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, don't really want to walk around carrying him.
That it weighs the same with or without at the minute, so it's fine.
We just leave him in there for a little bit, and then get him out at a different location, and we can all pretend like we got him out instantly. We can choose.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's just get him out.
Why?
I mean, isn't it like 2 against 1 right now?
Yeah.
Democracy rules.
Unfortunately, you're not in a democracy right now. This is a monarchy. So I still
And we
outrank
didn't
both of
vote
you.
for you, so I don't care.
That's not the point of a monarchy.
Well, I don't want to base my entire concept of who rules by who gets a freaking sword from someone out of a pond.
I agree.
I
What's
would
this?
stick my hand in the bag and think of Jeremy. Of
Oh,
Robert.
God.
Fuck it.
You pulled out an angry German person. Wait, what? No. No, you reach into the bag, and Robert, you feel someone grabbing your shoulder and pulling you up. And
Pull me
before you
in.
know it, Raz pulls up Robert, and then Robert falls out of the bag.
Ta-da!
Oh well.
I pulled a Robert out of a hat. Yeah.
Why?
So, did you find anything?
Well,
It takes a
when I
moment for you
was
to
inside,
It takes you a moment to readjust to being back in this plane.
yeah. When, hang on 1 second. This is a bit, I feel a bit weird. When I
Okay,
was
can fix
inside,
that.
when I was inside, it was like I was standing in an endless void, purple clouds flying around, and stars shimmering in the distance all around me. And there wasn't really any objects close by. I saw some kind of piece of parchment in the distance, but it kept fading in and out of my vision and coming closer and going further away again, and eventually just disappeared. So it's weird in there. I'd rather not go back in. If I don't have to.
Fair enough.
Probably a good idea.
Oh.
But hang on. I tried grabbing that piece of parchment when I was inside, but it didn't work. Or perhaps it works from the outside if you think of a piece of parchment.
Oh, I'll try it. And I reach in and try to grab parchment.
Also, hello, Dark Arts. So you reach into the bag and go for the parchment?
Yep.
You pull it out, and it's a roll of parchment with what looks like some sort of blank seal on it, so it's sealed shut.
That wasn't so hard.
Well, that worked at least.
Do we recognize the seal?
It's a blank seal.
You can try to look for the history if you've ever heard or seen of this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really bad at history.
Anyone can roll history at this point, so you can all roll history or give someone else advantage if you feel like it.
I'd like to try.
Ooh,
Oh.
I'll go.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
oh wow, now
Oh.
we get the high rolls.
Oh. Everyone but Robert
sorry.
has no idea
Oh.
what this seal means.
Okay.
Oh.
Robert, this weird blank-looking seal has some intricacies to it. Like
What?
very small details. You don't know from who this is, but you do know that this kind of seal is meant to instantly cast magic when you open this scroll.
I'll just catch her open.
Okay,
No.
sure.
No,
He
stop.
opens it.
Do
Right.
it.
Don't open it. As soon
Too
as
late.
this...
He has already opened it.
Oh, you have already opened it!
Yes, he said
Yeah.
that I should open it.
No, I just said 2 letters and all right.
Oh, you said it.
Let's go.
Oh god.
As you
And
open
now
it,
it's some kind of teleportation scroll that teleports us to the moon and we suffocate.
Oh, that would
Except
be
for me, I
nice.
don't.
Oh, we can finally get Spelljammer.
Ah!
she remembers the Spelljammer, people. Anyhow, you open the scrolls, you look at it, and you see the ink disappear right away.
God damn it.
Well,
Oh, do I know
no.
of a magical way to get it back?
Do you even know what the spell was?
No.
Can I remember what the spell is? Do I know the spell?
Roll History or Arcana. Do you have it? Do you recognize from a magical perspective? What is that?
My Arcana, yeah.
You know what spell was used to erase the text? It is literally ink that was magically enhanced to be removed the moment it is exposed to light. The whole scroll was in fact enhanced to make sure that the right recipient can read the scroll whenever needed. And by opening it like this, the information is gone.
Oh.
And now you have no idea how to bring it back.
Oh,
I
for
can pick it out of my bag of holding. Was I next to him when he opened the thing?
Who, you?
Yes.
If you were next to Ozzy's, yes.
Okay, I have the keen mind feat. How much of what I've seen would I therefore be able to remember and hopefully reproduce? And I'm aware I'm pushing it.
Roll me a perception check real quick.
You said the name of the other show. Unk.
Oh.
Okay.
Well.
Oh.
Okay, fine. Mr. 22, Mr. Nut 20. So the best person. Okay. You see the words on the text. Can you read Primordial?
Oh.
No.
You have no idea what the word said, but you do know it was. You do know, because of your keen mind and your perception, you at least were able to glance half the text and be able to write it down what it was.
Parchment. I need parchment.
Oh, I give the letter I've got.
I mean, like parchment. If I can head parchment now, why not?
Makes sense.
I conjure up my quill from nowhere and just start rewriting the text as quick as I can before it goes.
Okay. You rewrite half the letter, and yeah, it to you it looks like some sort of weird scribble. It means something, damn it!
Okay. I need a pinch of soot and salt and 10 minutes.
So, you ask one of the maids to get some soot and salt, and then go grab it, and then they give it to you, and then you can go to town with it.
I am going to ritually cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. That's actually impressive. That chain of events.
One moment, I need to check a few things.
I guess if I'll ask for another piece of parchment and start writing out translation.
Ozzy is just continuing eating.
Okay. The scroll reaches following. Report numbered 51. Experiments have been going smoothly. We have no current subjects. But in theory, concoctions should remain useful till blank. After that, that's it. The rest of the report is gone to you. Must have been a very short report.
Okay, well, salvage some of it.
Seems to be just a guess, but it might be about those experiments where they were running in that abandoned bunker we raided recently.
Maybe.
Indeed. Indeed. That said, you don't know anything else? And with that?
Don't know if that hex or hexagon thing is related to this, but I can't find out until I've slept.
Okay. That's it. So you're gonna do nothing otherwise?
For now, there's not much to do, so. Aside from
What a
eat and
weird-
rest, I guess.
What a weird way to end the report.
Alrighty then. After a nice hearty dinner, the maids start cleaning up the place, and yeah, you're just left with more questions. So, what are you gonna? So, anything else you guys gonna do or talk about? Still have things to do. Come on. Your DM awaits your decision. Or do I have to call the train?
Well,
You too.
I don't know if the guards have managed to find anything out from all those from the two we brought in yet. Might be worth chasing up.
Let's give them at least a night to get something out of them.
Alright, so you're gonna call in for the night?
Yeah.
Yay!
Before going to bed, I'm gonna go out real quick and for like an hour to see if I can find Poppy, because I'm pretty sure that girl's gonna get herself in trouble.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check real quick.
Hey, but investigation.
See if we can see. You find the small girl easily. Not far from the mansion. She was apparently outside drying some laundry.
Of course she was.
The girl likes doing outside chores.
I'm well aware. At least she's not getting in trouble. That's one good thing.
What do you do? So bring her in. So you pretty much tell her that it's your home and such.
Yeah, just let her do her work for now. I'll see her later when she gets inside.
Okay. So you go inside. Okay. And then you all turn in for the night.
Hey, I needed to rest.
One more thing. Raz,
Yes.
you took a sword from the woman, Velvet.
Yes, I did.
What are you doing with that?
Is there any kind of feel from it that it might be magical in nature?
You could always roll the Oil Arcana check, yeah?
Oh, yes, that thing I'm not proficient in, yes.
Or you can investigate it to see if you can find any ruins on it. You know, to indicate it's magical in some way.
That sounds like a better plan.
Okay then. You see the hilted sword and you investigate it gently. Making sure you're not pulling out a cursed sword from yourself and being cursed with something very, very terrible. Are you being careful? And then you're like, well, it looks safe. Gently. And then you see the blade, part of the blade. You look carefully. It's like, wait a minute, this thing is blood red. Ugh. It's like stained, like permanently stained in blood in some sort of way. You're like, it feels cursed, but then again, you're holding it right now and you're seeing the blade and you don't feel cursed and you think it's safe.
I mean, in case it is cursed, you can let me pull it out. That would be my second curse so far. Third, actually. Third time's the charm.
I'm gonna resheath the blade and wait until the morning when I can identify.
Okay. So you're all taking a long rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay up and help
Okay,
pull out the sword in the middle of the night.
Alona,
Yeah.
roll me
Oh dear.
a quick Constitution saving throw.
Yay.
Felt that coming. Thought maybe you forgot.
I have not
also-
forgotten. Huh?
I don't think you heard that what I said a bit ago. I'm staying awake and I'll secretly unsheath the sword in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Or at least I'll try to.
oh! I have to
Third
do
time's
something.
the charm. I
I
won the third curse. Just because.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
curious.
okay.
That one doesn't count, right? I can go again.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna know what that meant in the morning. You, Mr. Middle of the Night being sneaky. Raz, do you have any awareness of this gonna happen? Or do you wanna try and see if you notice in your sleep that someone's being a sneaky beaky?
Huh? I think I'll roll to see if I hear him sneak in.
Yeah, perception.
I assume I need to roll stealth then?
No. You don't.
Alright.
17.
Yeah, you don't notice him even with that high roll. You're just fast asleep. You're tired.
Alright.
I put the DC extra high for this.
Hmm.
So yes, you pull the blade out, and it is indeed blood red, and you hold it, and you don't feel cursed at all. You feel fine.
Cool. Can I inspect it and see if there's maybe anything engraved somewhere further down the blade?
Yep, investigation.
Investigation. I am finally blessed with good rolls.
Wow, that's a
Oh.
really good roll. As you investigate, you look at the blade, and it has an extra sharp edge to it. And on that edge, there's you look closely, and you can see that whoever crafted this put these little red gems on the blade side. Down, blade. And the other side is more blunt, but there's also little gems also engraved in that. Whoever made this has a pretty fine eye for detail, putting in some sort of magical effect on this blade. But and you've never seen this. You've only seen something like this before. In fact, you know this. This is also kind of part of how your pistol works, as your arcane focus, but in a different kind of way.
It's a fire sword of some kind. Red gems. I just sheath the sword again and put it back.
Okay. And now you must roll stealth check to get out to see if Robert, if the rat doesn't notice.
Here we go. Oh well. My rolls are good today.
That's sleight of
Oh, damn
hand,
it.
not stealth.
Oh, no! It has the same modifier.
It does have the same modifier. Fine, I'll take it. Yeah,
Like,
no,
Damn
Raz, with your passive perception, you don't notice that.
No.
So Robert now has some knowledge.
Yay.
You're not cursed, and you know it's a magical sword, which is no surprise considering it was by your enemy. Okay. After a long night's rest, you all wake up, and as you all greet each other, Alona, you look like you have a bit of a more paler complexion in your face. It is hard to notice, but it's only noticed when the sun hits your skin through the windows.
Do I feel different?
You feel fine.
Oh, okay. No worries. Okay.
You-
Guys.
Anyone who has a passive perception above 12 will automatically notice this.
Yay.
Hold on. Gonna. Passive what? Sorry.
Passive perception above 12. That means it's rare to have under 12, so most people will know. Lean. Yes, Mr. Doggo.
-9.
Yeah, you don't notice it then.
Yeah, I also have 11.
Well,
I have 15.
Yeah, but you're not looking at your own skin, are you?
Well, I see my hands, don't I?
Yeah, okay, so you would notice this. It's like you're a bit pale, but what it means, whatever. Osseous? Raz?
Oh, 14. Yep.
Yeah, Osseous, do you notice this?
12.
Are
Raz, you
feeling
also notice
okay?
it. Raz, you barely notice it, but yeah.
I'm fine, why?
You look a bit,
You done something with your hair?
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed. Did the water in this morning.
Oh, you grew it out a bit? Nice.
And then I dried it with fire, which really looks well on my hair.
That explains your skin, I guess.
What?
What? Fire?
What? Fire?
What? What? Fire? Okay, well, sure, guys. You're weird.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, also, you might want to check a mirror.
Is there a mirror anywhere?
Yes.
I go there and open my mouth to check my teeth.
Why are you checking your teeth?
Because I thought that's what he meant.
Okay, you go check your teeth. They're teeth. Even if you look closely, it's just teeth.
Okay, and I do have like passive perception of 15, so I probably do notice.
Yeah, you just see the fact. You only know that your skin might be a bit more pale in the sunlight, but otherwise you're still. Your teeth are just teeth. Why are you looking at your teeth for?
Still
Because
bones?
he didn't say. Okay, never mind. Look in the mirror and I'm like, that's weird. But, I'll be fine. And I head back to the group.
Okay. So it's time to plan in your day. What are you doing?
I think I'm going to start by pulling out the sword, the hexagon, a pearl, and an owl.
The what? The last
I'm
one?
going to pearl and an owl feather. I'm going to attempt to identify these two objects.
Okay. So what are you doing exactly?
I am casting. Hang on, I can just click it, can't I?
Oh, identify. And the problem. Oh, so you must touch it through with the casting spell. If it's a magic item or some other magic computer, you learn its properties and how to use them. Whether it requires attunement to use or how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item. Okay, so... Okay.
It's been ritually done, so it will take an extra 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. Because I don't remember giving a pro of 100, but hey, I'll take it. After some time, you identify the sword first, and yes, it is a magical sword. It is not cursed. It is indeed enhanced. This is a sword that will inflict bleeding.
Ooh.
That's what swords usually do.
More the bleeding status. As in, it will... It's a form, very much, you cut someone and they will start doing excessive bleeding. So they will start losing HP every turn. Yeah.
It's like Fireball does the... it also inflicts fire.
Yeah, I'll explain. Pretty much, it's a special sword that makes sure that the cuts that you have, that will keep bleeding for a while.
Yeah.
But I'll just give you the mechanics. So, I need to DM this right. I forgot how to DM in fucking Roll20 again. Direct message, Aeon.
That's DM name?
Notes, nope. Whisper, nope. Slash W, nope. I hate this.
W should work.
Oh, that does work.
I don't know. I never do it in game.
Yeah, but I have to interrupt the stream.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Ah. Oops.
Aha.
Ignore the velvet part. But yeah, that's what it's used. That's how it works. I just put the description of the item in.
Okay.
+5 to hit, +5, but yeah. Wow, that is really unintuitive that it did it. As for the orb, after some time, you pretty much will find out... Well, who's typing so much?
That's me, sorry.
I was just wondering, it's like, that's a long typing. I'm just wondering what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just doing something in the background.
Okay,
Pay
fine.
attention.
Sorry. That's fine. Then we have the orb. The orb is an orb that has, at the moment, has two... Okay. Let me double check my notes. Was it the right orb? Yeah, that is the right orb. It is an orb that is meant to hold magical charges meant for some sort of spells. It is currently out of charges, but you know that it will allow you to cast teleport with. It's currently out of charges. You need to get it recharged. Am I not a sneaky motherfucker? But at the moment it's out of charges. That's why it's looking so dull. It must have been used in the kidnappings in some sort of way. After all, if you can teleport in and out with your victim...
Interesting. So what it appears we have here is a sword of bleeding.
Mhm.
And this is a paperweight. And I stick it back in the bucket.
Yeah. Blade of anticoagulation. Yeah, that's also a good word for it. Actually, it doesn't say identify, you know the name of the item, right? No, it doesn't say the name. But you can name whatever.
Yeah.
So yay. Anyhow, are you guys done?
Basically.
All right, you have your bit of a breakfast, and now you need to decide what to do.
Doo-doo?
Set some stuff on fire.
What are you doing?
Oh,
I should probably get some sun. I'm a bit pale today.
Yeah. That might work.
Meanwhile, I'll head to go to the guardhouse and see what they managed to get out of those, get out of our prisoners.
I'll come with you. I might be able to make
Or
her a
see
bit more
about prisoners
agreeable. And then I wouldn't mind finding some sort of a magic supply shop somewhere.
Pretty sure there's one
get my
around here
parrot back.
somewhere.
Robert?
I mean,
I'm in a pretty good mood. I want to ruin that. I'll read the book.
The book?
The book.
The book.
Yes, the book from the library. That is the book.
Ah, okay.
The one with pages?
That book.
Yeah, that book.
with text written in it?
Okay. So,
So book.
you two head towards the thing. Alana, what are you doing? And Ozius?
I check outside. Is the sun shining?
Okay, you're in the sun. Yeah, you still look a bit pale in the sunshine. Ozius?
I was just going to stare at the pale skin.
Oh, I'm gonna get up on the roof. Just get some sun.
This is a
follow you.
2-story mansion. How are
Yeah,
you gonna
but-
get up there?
Well, I can use fly now. I can fly on myself.
Okay, you fly up there, you weirdo.
Yay!
You have a thing for rooftops.
I do.
Ozius, what do you think of
Carriages
Miss
and everything.
Pelskin going to the roof?
Ah, that's weird.
Well, if you want to do something, you can always say it. Robert, what are you looking for in the book?
Yeah, just continuing where I left off.
Okay, a quick investigation check.
Investigation.
16. Let's see. What's the last thing you did in that book again? Was it continuing the book? You did not get a time to read the book before that. The book. This is the book that gave you trauma. So, yeah. As you read the log, you look through it. You look for it, and then you believe you found the location, the last known location of this mysterious boat ship thing. And then you start reading it more, and you feel something overcoming you. You need to do a quick wisdom save for me. See if you are. You're fine. You just
Okay.
felt like something in your mind was, and the reason is your mind. You feel something overcoming you, and then you're like, no, this is important. And you start writing down the sea coordinates of the last known location of your mystery ship in this logbook.
Alright.
So you now know where this mysterious ship could be. Okay, Raz and Veronica, you two head towards the station, and as you eventually reach there and go inside the guardhouse, you're greeted by the guards. There are 2 different guards on duty today. What do you do?
Good morning. So I was curious if there's any news on the prisoners of last night.
Good morning. All right, the new prisoners, the prisoners that were brought in last night by a group of adventurers. Those prisoners, yes, prisoners.
Yes, that will be us. Thank you. And you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. Thank you. You've done the Kingdom of Lagana a big service. But Alas, they are no longer incarcerated here. They have been moved by the Royal Investigation Team.
Mm. They move quick. I wasn't expecting them to be out this early.
Yes, Ozzy, I was doing
Royal
that impression.
Investigation Team.
It was supposed to be a failed Kronk. Seriously, guys, it was supposed to be someone who failed being Kronk.
Yeah, I called that one.
Yeah.
That poison? Yes, that poison.
It is such a shit. Yes, they have been brought to the palace grounds to be further interrogated within the confines of the Royal Investigations. What's the compound called again? Yes, the dungeon. The dungeon's name is the Copper Chains. Have you heard about the Copper Chains before?
I'm pretty sure I've heard of it. Quick history check, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Vaguely, so I have forgotten everything about it.
You only know that the Copper Chains is literally... It sounds a bit, copper and chains sound weak, but it is literally meant to be one of the most heavily guarded dungeons within the palace, meant for, well, the biggest criminals to be investigated by the Royal Investigation Team. This was before they moved all the prisoners out of the city. So this is also a very old dungeon. It's now being used by the Royal Investigation Team for the biggest criminals that they catch to interrogate them. But you're not sure otherwise. What happens in there, they don't know.
And the only thing I remember is that it's like their biggest dungeon that they're currently having, or at least the one they're using for all high-end criminals. That's all I really remember.
Indeed, there are many tools there to get someone to speak their secrets.
Yes, quite. Well, I'm pretty sure they'll be flapping their tongues soon enough.
Indeed. And that is all. Is it all? I hope it is all, because if it's all, then I can do no more.
Yes, that will be fine. Thank you. Well.
Ooh. Glad I didn't end up in that place.
Yes, be glad, because I don't remember a lot of that place, but based on what I've just heard, yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so you had to look for like a magic shop, right?
Yes.
What do I have to roll to see if I remember where one is? Just history?
Yes, the history. Because
Let's
let's see if you remember where one could be.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's see if I actually roll better than, well, it's a little better.
There's plenty of magic kind of shops around, but the best ones are in the northern districts, especially near the Magical Academy. But you don't know one specifically, you just think it's in the area of the Magical Academy in the north.
Is that in the north? Wasn't that to the east?
No.
Okay, I'm confused then. Okay.
East is more religious.
Ah, right. Okay.
Magical Academy is in the north.
Okay.
In fact,
Well,
that's where Ilona and Ozzy's one time ended up, with the magical demonstrations.
Yay!
Okay.
Call back.
You want a tour to there? Ah, you know where to find me.
Yeah, but they're not in the mansion right now.
Okay,
Ooh.
so I'm pretty sure that most of them are in the northern district. I haven't been there myself, but that's probably where they are. They're closest by the Magic Academy, most like.
Sounds like a good place to start.
All right, let's get a card and let's head over there then.
You pay in total 1 silver to get to the northern district, and you get off near the Magic Academy. So let's go on an adventure to the north. There.
To the northern north.
And you find yourself at the Magical Academy. Between the dorms and the Magical Academy itself, It is a huge building, and well, you see students of all kinds of magical expertise going in and out to their classes, to their dorms, or just going out in general, or just, you know, a lot of things going on. It's busy.
Must be a class day today. Suppose we can ask one of the students if they know the best magic shops.
Mhm.
Sure they know which one is the best.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
So-
you.
Hey, you.
Nobody responds to this, hey, you.
What? Why not?
Typical students, they don't listen.
I just walk up to the nearest one and as he's about to pass me, I tap him on the shoulder. Excuse me, can we bother you for a moment?
Give me a moment. You stop over a half-elven woman, wearing a pointy hat and having a large book under her arm, the cloak. Yes. Can I help you?
My friend actually has a question for you. Raz?
Yes, do you know where would be a good shop in order to acquire some magical supplies?
Magical supplies? Well, you are close to the Magical Academy. Well, let me think. Well, there is one at the square. What was his name again? Sorry, I have a big test later today, and I'm a bit too stressed out on that.
It's fine. Is it the square you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
Goodbye.
luck on your test.
Thank you. And she walks off.
All right. Well, we have our little destination at least. Let's go see if we can find that shop.
Fair enough.
They're going to the Northern Square.
We do that.
No.
Lally ho.
Lolly ho. Tally ho. Okay. So you find yourself in the Northern Square, which is a large square with several buildings, shops, and, well, in the middle of it there's, of course, a guardhouse.
Alright, should be around here. Let's have a look and see if we can find it.
Several people walking around, few stalls on there, but not really what you call market, just like 5 stalls in total in the square right now. Investigation check, both of you.
Oh, okay.
Guess you're trying to find a magic shop. There's no haggling it. Raz, you don't see anything that looks like a magic shop right away. I mean, you do see some nice pockets you could loot, but you're like, no, magic first, being a sneaky little thief later. Besides, these people don't deserve to be robbed right now. Veronica, you, with your knowledge of the Lagana layout, are able to find a quaint little shop in one of the corners. It is this that building here. And it is called the Glass Orb.
Well, that's fitting. I think we'll have to go to that one. And I point to the shop.
Glass orb. Right. Oh,
All right, let's go check it out.
yep, I stride through the door of the glass orb then.
That's it,
the-
kitty.
There we go. One moment, I forgot to write down one little note. Okay, you enter the store, and you look around it. In the back, there's a counter, and you just see a bored, old-looking man reading a book. And around you, there are all kinds of what you seem to be some sort of books and staffs, a few blank scrolls, and in the back you see a few strange trinkets, a golden orb in the back, a globe made out of stone, you know, one of those black globes, and a floating chest of all things. You see the man just with a long grey beard, he's just sitting there reading a book.
Ooh, I'd
Didn't
love
even
to
notice
get
your
my hands on that chest. No. Business first. Later, later.
Floating chest! Gotta steal it.
Steal? I am offended.
So what?
But
What? You're offended?
never mind. I'm here looking for rather specific supplies. Just like a charcoal, incense, herbs used in like a summoning.
The old man closes the book, puts it down, looks at you. Ah, that sounds like materials for summoning a familiar. All right then, should have enough of those. And he goes under the counter, pulls up a box, which looks like some sort of tinderbox. He opens it. Let's see here. Here's your charcoal. Here's the incense you need. And no, not that. No. I believe you need you have a bronze brazier, right?
Not anymore.
Ah. Alright, fine. Closes the lid, goes under it. Give him a moment, and you see him. You see him sitting down. He just goes something, and then he comes back up, and he puts down the brazier. It's like, yeah, this should be fine for summoning rituals. Let's see on the inside. Puts his finger in. A little bit dusty. Snaps his fingers. And you see cloth going in and cleaning the inside of the brazier itself. Then flies out and vanishes. There you go.
How much will that cost me?
That supply. The brazier should be 5 gold, and the supplies in total should be another 5 gold, which in total is 10 gold.
Could I get an extra helping of the incense and supplies to burn in that case?
Naturally. Pulls up the tinderbox, he opens it. Extra charcoal. And then some extra, yes, some incense. There you go. And put it back in. It's back away. And that should be total 10 gold and then 5 gold for the brazier. Anything else, good sir?
No, that's probably all I can afford for now, but thank you very much. And I will just open the bag of holding and drop it in.
Naturally, sir. Thank you for doing business at the Glass Orb.
No problem. I may have to come back here later.
You'll be a very valuable customer. Have a nice day.
Oh, I will.
And as you leave, he opens the book again and starts reading it. Lovely fellow. And you leave with your summoning supplies.
Wonderful.
Was that all you needed, or?
Oh, I saw a lot of other things in there I want, but maybe now's not the time.
Maybe later.
Okay, you two take another caravan for 1 silver back to the mansion. some time passes in the mansion. Robert, you've just been reading the book. Osius and Ilona, what are you doing?
Well, I'm chilling in the sun on the roof. And I do have some scrolls that I could still open at some point.
You still have that scroll, you mean?
I have 3 scrolls actually. 2 from the Galden Mansion and 1 from Lich Island.
Ah, right, you have those scrolls. So, what do you do?
Maybe I should start with the safe ones from Galden Mansion.
Okay.
It's what you call safe.
You...
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Well,
the
Lich
name.
Island or Galden Mansion, I don't know.
Okay, let me just double check my notes, double check my stuff. Oh yeah. So, you open the first scroll and you read the first text and it is in common and you read... From your aunt, and when you start reading it, this is just a personal letter from an aunt of the Baron, who, if you are really curious, is just checking in with their nephew and how it is going while she's situated in Silverbell.
Boring.
It's like, hey, sweetie, how are you doing? I know your father hasn't been around much, and you've been ruling as an important baron. Oh, how lovely! And boring.
Well, I throw it in the air and cast firebolt at it.
You just burned a personal letter.
Not her personal letter.
Okay. The other one, you roll open and you start reading it, and it's a ledger with all kinds of supplies and prices next to it. When you read it, this is just a ledger for trade orders.
And same faith. Throw it up, firebolt.
Yeah.
Why
Nothing
are people
magical.
So boring.
Yes, by the way, that's literally what you stole from the mansion.
I
You think-
know.
Okay, what do you do next?
I do take out the scroll from Lich Island,
Okay.
and I try to see, like, sense or if it's might
You-
be cursed or a spell on it or something.
You need to investigate it or roll Arcana on it, see if you can magically sense it or find out with your magical knowledge.
Arcana.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yes. You sense magic coming from this beautiful scroll. And the more you try to hone in your magical senses, you can sense that the scroll is indeed not cursed, but it does have magical power coming from it. Ah! Mermy, you disappeared.
Yeah, my camera just said bye-bye.
Your camera is a little...
Bye bye.
But Moon's camera's not working at all, so...
Oh yeah, it's off.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm
I
back.
open it.
Oh.
Yay!
That's what's not happening. People have been DMing me in Discord, and I didn't see those because I have streamer mode on. And I thought they would send it to my phone, but apparently that option is off
no.
again. Let me double check, because it's
no, no.
important.
I open the scroll.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And the other one has said something else. You open that scroll, and can you read Primordial?
Can Fluff read for your more audio?
No.
Good question. Oh.
Comprehend languages.
Yeah, but she doesn't have that. She has
Meanwhile,
fire.
August is just getting bored, so he's going to cast enhanced ability on himself and try to clear him up as well.
Enhance ability. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just going to give myself
Advantage.
Race, which is advantage on dexterity checks.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll the dexterity checks. Roll the dexterity check with advantage to see if the turtle can be a spider turtle today.
Acrobatics or
Acrobatics, yeah. Thank you for the correction.
12.
You're a big, heavy turtle that's trying to climb a 2-story building. You climb a little bit, but then you're like, bonk! It's gonna be a long climb, so it's not really that easy for you.
Yeah, he's going to try to do it anyway.
Again.
Yep.
Again.
16.
You climb up to the first level, then and then almost to the second level, and it's still a bit of a way. And you need to roll one more.
Uh-oh. 7.
You make a misstep and you're gonna fall for a bit. You will take. Let's see. Let me double check this thing. Let's see. Falling damage. Oh, you're not gonna take that much damage. Wait, is that falling damage? Oh, whatever. I'll just do this. Yeah. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage from falling on your shell. Your shell softened the blow.
Damage.
Gonna be nice. So turns out being a spider turtle is not as easy as it seems.
No.
Are you gonna
That's
try
like
again?
Spider pig. What?
Are you gonna try again?
Oh yeah.
Okay, keep.
Getting down is going to be a problem, but I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, Dex.
7 again.
Yeah, you even after the first little climb, you fall off, but you don't take any damage. You're like, needs to be a better way to get up there. You can always shout towards her to get down.
Where's the fun in that?
Can I hear him struggling?
Well, you did hear.
Uh-huh.
Well, did you? What's your? Yeah, you have enough patch. You would hear him at least fall from the second story.
Well, second question, would I care now?
You wouldn't care, I don't think. But that is your decision, not mine.
Can I stand up on the roof and just say, Garrix, can you read this for me?
You can most certainly try.
And then cast fireball like to the air. Like,
Okay, roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage because you're being very, 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 you know.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ho, 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 ho. Critical fail on trying to persuade a divine entity. Oh, I'm gonna have to roll something.
Thank you.
Oh.
Your mansion is about to become a
Here we go. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
I could cast a spell right now, which might help you, but where's the fun in that?
I'm giving you 1 moment to consider casting a spell just in case.
Okay. I'm casting Beacon of Hope.
Okay, what does it do? Okay. Hope if I try, choose any region within your range of 30 feet. Each target with a... Okay, and...
Yep, advantage on death saving throws and wisdom saving throws.
Oh my god. Why you reached that? So, do you really want to know what happened? I rolled a D1000 to see how bad how much you have pissed it off. 77. That's below.
bad?
That's below 1%. That pretty much means 99% pissed.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. But you are protected by the veil, so alrighty then. This is what happens. Alona! From up the sky, you see in the distance two red stars in the sky flying through the air. One of them flies towards the north. And the other one is flying in towards you. What do you do?
Oh, I should have cast hold person. Oh.
I fly towards it?
Yeah, one of the fun starts flying towards you. What do you do?
I mean, I can also fly towards it, meet it in the middle.
Oh dear.
Sure about it.
But do I see that he is upset?
You don't know. You're not sure. You can. You know what? Insight. This is just insight to see.
No, that doesn't really work. I want to Misty Step inside the building, but I cannot see inside the building.
Insight.
Windows.
As in roll an insight check. God damn it, dog. Go ahead. Roll your insight first.
Yes, go on it.
Yeah. You know that Garrick was not happy with you doing that to get his attention. So whatever's in your way, shit.
So is there any like hole or crook that I can look inside actual building that I'm standing on?
There's windows.
Okay. I look through the window and Misty Step inside the building. Or is it not a good idea? Oh.
Sorry,
Veronica.
Oh my
Veronica,
god.
you might have to be thankful for Alona for what's gonna happen. So, Ozzius! With your passive perception, you see that red ball from the sky, that red star from the sky, turning into a ball, heading towards the mansion, heading towards where Alona was standing, and now it's going towards you. What do you do with this information?
Going to try to get down and away.
You're already on the ground, so you're fine. But that
I
thought.
was on the first floor.
Oh, right. You gotta take it down. Athletics check. Also, yes, Robert, you're inside. Prepare.
Oh dear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get down fine, and you get the hell out of there.
I mean, do I even know about it?
No, you don't see it.
I'm just reading my book over here.
No,
We didn't hear a fireball.
no, you don't. You don't hear it. So,
There was a fireball going off. You should be able to hear that.
who says it's a
Probably.
fireball?
Yeah.
No, I did that. I cast a fireball.
Oh, you
Which
guessed
goes
the fireball.
whoosh.
Oh yeah, you did hear the fireball, Robert, going outside. So you hear that explosion of the fireball. I think most of the crew did it.
Honestly, I don't think much of it because it's a fireball. I
Yeah.
know who cast it. It's nothing probably.
Okay.
Oh,
Probably just someone
God.
having fun.
Okay. It gets close to it, and I'm gonna roll D100 and see what kind of percentile damage this is gonna do.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
54!
54?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God.
Something. So, as the thing headed towards it, it slams into the ceiling, crashing into the second floor towards Alona. Alona, make a dex saving throw.
Oh, dear.
Oh god. Hey, but I do have the beacon of hope, right?
Yes,
Saving throw. I
On
can-
wisdom.
wisdom. This is dex.
Oh, that's only a wisdom saving throw.
Also on death saving throws, so it's fine.
It's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
To be fair, that's why
Oh no!
Oh my god!
That's double damage. That's double damage.
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, I get critical fail is gonna be double damage. Because you are the target at that thing.
I know. I just took the house with me.
I think you're dead.
I think.
Dead.
Okay.
And there was no way to cast like shield or anything right now. This AC, that doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Well, I die.
You take 17. Double that. That is 34 points of damage.
I'm not dead! I'm not dead!
I thought the 54 was the.
Oh, I'm not. I never. Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
That's a
Oh.
shame. That's exactly how
Like,
Lana would have wanted to do.
Now I have to roll one more D100 to see if lower levels are hit or something is gonna land on Ilona's head.
I'm really
Yay!
hurt. I'm really hurt and I yell, "Fuck you, Garrett!"
10. Robert, you feel the rumbling above you, but otherwise nothing. Lona, nothing lands on your head. You're just a bit singed up, and whatever just tried to hit you, it left a burning rock near you.
For me?
Huh?
A burning rock?
Yeah, a burning rock.
Hey. Okay.
Okay, Ozzy is going to rush in.
Mhm.
Ouch.
A burning rock. Is that a gift?
It's about the size of a tennis ball.
Yeah, probably a gift. Or just something Garrett threw at me because he didn't like something I said.
That's the opposite of a gift.
Yeah. Well, we have a complicated relationship.
Just like that.
There's now a big hole in the ceiling.
Everything hurts though.
Part of the second floor is pretty damaged.
Yeah, well, that can happen.
Luckily,
then.
it's not in the section where anyone else was.
Maybe Veronica won't even notice.
Yeah.
By the
probably
way, if you look, both you can see look closely. There's also a piece of metal stuck onto the burning rock,
Oh,
and it's it's partly chipped off. So the rock is
Do I
partly chipped off, and
recognize?
there's just a piece of metal in there.
do I recognize like what it is?
You may roll an investigation for that. $14. You look at this metal and You're looking at it gently. You're not really sure because you're kind of shook up that there's something from the sky just tried to strike you and set you on fire. Which it sort of did, but you know, you're used to catching on fire, so you're like, whatever, that doesn't do it. But you look at it closely and you notice that, wait a minute. Something in the recesses of mind comes to you. Roll a history check. You get the follow-up roll. If you didn't feel too bad. Yes, that's good enough. That should be good enough. That, what you look at, this looks like some sort of... something that you're like, wait a minute. This looks like a piece of a... Yes, this looks like a piece of a Spelljammer type ship.
Oh!
And... you may... do you want to deduce what would have happened? Then you may... if so, you may roll one more d20 for the funsies to see if you could deduce what happened. You don't know. It seems like it struck something, but you're not sure what exactly happened.
But I do know it's a piece from a Spelljammer.
Yeah. A Spelljammer type ship.
Okay, I crawl towards my bed, wherever it is.
Well, it's not at the second level. Of course, some of the servers come to check what the hell happened here.
Nothing, just got into a bit of a fight.
One of the servers like, oh, something from the sky hit. Oh, that's gonna take some fixing up. All right. Later, dog. We'll fix it. You two go on ahead. We'll clean this up. Don't worry. Of course, Richard's also looking out of the office to see what happens, and he gets informed by the servants, like, yeah, something from the sky just hit us. So it's like, and then so she's like, just giving him a look like, just make sure my brother stays well rested and isn't unharmed. And he goes back into the office. Anyhow, after some time passes, Veronica and Raz, you both notice the hole inside on the ceiling in the mansion.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alona!
Oh my god!
You know, considering all that I heard, like with the fireball earlier, then it rumbling above, and now someone's screaming for Alona, I think I'm gonna decide to put the book away and go upstairs and see what's actually happened.
Yeah.
Arceus is actually grabbed a chair and sits in the room where it crashed.
Yeah. What's in the hallway? Yeah.
Yeah, he just sits in the hallway, just...
While the rest of the servants are cleaning up the mess. They can't touch that flaming rock that's still on fire.
Oh, I thought it took it.
No, it's too hot. You can't touch it.
Oh.
If you tried to, you would take damage.
Could
And
I
that's
try
right,
picking it
actually.
up with Mage Hand?
I do also have Mage Hand.
So you both said, Raj, you pick it up with Mage Hand. Yes, it's fine for Mage Hand. Mage Hand can pick it up. It's not that heavy.
Don't think I want to put this in the bag of holding.
Why
I
not?
do.
There's no air. The fire will go out instantly.
She's smart.
So you're gonna put it in the bag of holding?
Against my better judgment, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's good.
Let me check if the bag of holding can even hold that. Or that you did a
Like
stupid.
there's still residual heat even without the fire.
Now, as long as you make sure it doesn't touch the fabric, it should be fine, right?
Uh,
Or does it actually have a bottom?
It doesn't say completely. If it no, the bag of holding does not break from that. No, it doesn't. It's fine. Congratulations! You have a flaming rock with a piece of metal on it.
Oh, well. I just stare at the bag of holding sort of nervously for a few seconds. No, I think we're good.
Okay, anyway, Alona, what the hell did you do this time?
She's in one of the guest rooms.
Lona's in bed.
Yeah, so?
Oh, you just walk over to the room and just like, Alona, what the hell did you do?
Exactly.
No. Ozzy's going to try to stop her because Lona's sleeping. Fight
I'm
later.
meditating. Deep meditation.
For God's sake. So what did she do?
Angry
Oh.
God. Rock. Boom. Ouch.
For God's sake. Well, tell her that as soon as she wakes up that the cost of rebuilding is going to come from her pocket. And I head off.
I'm not the messenger.
I'm not the messenger. And Robert, you'll see this and it's like, okay. Well, that just happened.
What even happened?
Well, a flaming rod from the sky struck the building.
What?
Ozzy, do you inform him?
I look up to the ceiling and I see the hole. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alona happened.
What the hell did she do?
Fireball. Message to God. God get angry. Threw rock. Alona almost died. And that's about everything, you know.
I see.
Yeah, nothing that special actually.
Does this sort of thing happen?
So what do you reckon would happen if I shot my flintlock up to the heavens? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, do you want to do it? Or just asking
Yes,
Ozzy?
I'm just gonna. Actually, no, not inside. That would be. Nah, that would be a bit much probably. Nah,
I think you would just startle everyone, but
that's also true.
and if you're lucky, you could shoot a random bird.
Who knows? Nah.
Okay. Well, that said, Laura goes to rest, and the rest of you go downstairs to. Sorry, my nose is itching. Get a bit of a nose ache. And resume the rest of your day while the servant starts fixing up the house a bit. Anything you even want to do, real quick?
I go over to Richard's office to discuss how this is going to get resolved.
Okay. So you meet with Richard. What do you want to resolve real quick? The damage?
The damage, yeah.
Okay. Richard's like, as long as it's paid for, I don't care. We have other things to worry about than damage to the mansion because of a random fire rock from the sky.
Act of
He's-
God.
These
Yeah, I'm
things
pretty sure that Alona has something to do with this one, so I'll get to the bottom of that one and get back to you on that. Just, I wouldn't be surprised. Just.
And with that said, okay. Gonna write down that whole thing real quick. So, basically put, yes, going inside did, weaken the damage a bit more. Don't worry, Alona. You're fine. Just, when you piss off gods.
risk.
Yeah.
I still cannot read the scroll. Darn.
You didn't lose at least.
Yeah. That's good.
Either way,
Something.
you're fine now. Pretty much, Richard is fine with that Alana pays it off.
How much is it?
They're still calculating the damage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna roll some dice just to total out the damage. 75 gold.
I don't have that. Well, I am awake, right?
Well, yes, you're meditating, so you're awake.
Oh no, like I do need my 4 hours of meditation before I can do anything, so
Yeah.
no wait.
So, what are you guys doing? So now that Alona now knows that they have a debt of 75 gold.
Only 75. That's not too bad.
I don't know yet, right? No one told me yet.
Nobody told her yet.
Cool.
Okay then, I guess some time passes. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
So it becomes afternoon now. It's time for lunch. Nice. And Alona, you eventually get your meditation rest, and then you join the rest with lunch, if you want to. Alona?
I go back to the hole.
Uh-huh. It's currently being patched. Is it currently being worked on?
I still fit through.
Yes.
Then I fly out and sit back on the roof.
The server look at you go through the hole. It's like,
I still need that sun for my skin.
have fun with that.
Nice.
You weirdo. Go sit on the roof. Robert? Anything you do? Robert, do you have anything to do?
Hang on, let me actually check if I have another book. Because I believe I picked up multiple over time.
Oz, did you still... What are you doing before lunch? Or...
He was just sitting in the hallway.
Okay, then you eventually do see Lona fly out of the hole. And you're like, really?
Lona, you have to pay for that.
No, I don't.
That's not what Veronica said.
Oh my god.
It's
Right.
not covered under insurance because it's an act of God.
God damn it. Sure, because if it's an act of God. God, I
I'm
love
wrong.
you. Raz, what are you doing?
We had like a couple of hours between the rock incident and lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to expend a use of the find familiar ingredients and get my ferret back.
You get your ferret back.
And then I'm just going to borrow a piece of parchment, and I'm actually going to make a list of what's in the bag, and then put the essentially the table of contents in the bag
Useful.
for future reference.
Yes.
You asked me earlier what I want to do. Can I just say that now?
Yeah.
Alright. I have a nautical chart and a book about lost treasures.
Yeah.
I take out the nautical chart and first off mark where that ship was lost, of which I wrote down the coordinates earlier.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to look through the book for treasures that are somewhere
Near.
between Lagana and that point where the ships are,
Okay.
so that I can more or less plan a route.
Roll the investigation real quick.
Investigation. And we're back to mediocre rolls.
Roll me 2 D100s.
2 D100s.
You find in the book 2 locations that seem interesting. However, one is too far away from Lagana. It's too far. It's too far north, and you don't want to travel too far north.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is not that far from the sunken ship.
Alright, then I mark that as well.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty then, that's done. Also, you recast Disguise Self.
Yes, of course. And before I forget, that is where I also clean my weapons.
Good job. Was about to do that. That's one of the reasons I asked. Veronica, what are you doing for lunch?
One second. Turning on the light.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, eventually I just entirely forget that the Abalot comes to bite me or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna look and see if a certain someone has finished up her chores already.
Okay, you do find her in the servant quarters.
Hello there. So, finished all your chores, have you?
Huh? Oh, hey, Mom. You mean all the punishment you gave me? See,
Well, that's
Veronica's-
what you get for getting in trouble.
I just like to go out and see the world. Come on. You know how boring it is in this mansion.
You can go out with the other servants when there's time. And when there's something to do, but especially now with everything that's going on, it's better for you to stay indoors.
The smaller girl size. Indoor, outdoors. It's always within the city. Always within the same district. Just want to see things. Know more things. Books don't do it.
Honey, I know. But you're still a little kid. I know you're older than you appear, but you're still a little kid.
I'm not a kid. Come on. That's just an excuse you use.
Fine. How about this? If you've promised to stay out of trouble for the duration that my colleagues are here, I might consider letting you go with them when they leave Lagana.
Really? Why that? It seems unusual for you.
You don't want to?
No, I do. It just feels like you're punishing me for something. Not sure. It's new for you to say that.
Well, maybe I'm just considering letting you expand your horizons a little bit.
The little girl thinks for a moment. Well, I guess I could stay indoors for a day if they go out within a day.
All right. Then I expect to hear nothing more of trouble that you're making. Understood?
Okay, Mom.
All right. I reach over and ruffle the girl's hair a little bit.
You know I don't like that.
And that's exactly why I do it.
All right. Yeah, do you think?
All right.
And then most of the people will probably head to lunch, which is probably Robert, Raz, and Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about Ozzy? Is you still gonna be at the hole near Alona? Because Alona's not coming for lunch, clearly.
Oh, there's lunch. I'm coming.
Okay. Alona, you're staying on the roof?
Yep.
Okay. A hot sorcerer on a tin roof.
Oh, no, lunch.
Not hungry.
Yes, you are.
Okay. You all meet for lunch and you can discuss things if you feel like it. You still have a bit of rest because you're just chilling in the mansion, just waiting for results to happen. Maybe a reward come in.
Mm-hmm.
Raz,
Yes.
do you still have that bag of holding?
Yes. Hasn't
Could I
left
have
us
it for a
out.
moment? I'm kind of bored and I just want to stick my hand in and think of random things and see if I actually am able to grab anything.
Well, I don't think there's any random things in there, but you know what? Yeah.
Who knows? I'm bored and maybe I'm lucky. Who knows?
I hand the bag over.
And I reach inside and keep and start to think about various different things. Just anything, pretty much.
Roll me 6 D100s.
Oof.
Just to see what kind of results you get for thinking. That's 1.
I mean, you did say you could only see
2,
parchment in there earlier, so I
2,
presume
3.
we emptied it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5. 69! Nice! 17.
I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
6.
3. You reach out, you start the first time you pull out, nothing. Second time you go in, nothing. Third time you go in, you pull out, nothing. Fourth time. Hey, this is a piece of parchment. Tables of content.
So, wait. Is that a list of what's inside the bag?
Yes.
Yes?
Well, what do you say about that?
Well, ask Raz.
I,
Put it in.
I want to read it.
Well, Raz, what does it say?
I mean, I can read it as well. I have comprehend languages.
It's common.
Oh, it's common.
Because Raz wrote that!
Yeah,
Oh.
he just put it
Oh.
in.
Actually, it's not. Actually, no, it's not in common.
No?
Oh.
I thought of that one, you motherfucker. It's written in Thieves' Cant.
The thieves can't.
Nice.
So you can't read it right now.
Even with comprehend languages?
No, actually, that face
Oh.
scan is not a language; it's a code.
Oh, damn. Oh, well.
It is considered a language, but it's not something you can do with comprehend language. You have to know face scan because it's code.
Well, at least I got something.
And yeah, Raj, you notice that he is indeed holding your tables of content scroll. And then you go in for the 5th time, nothing. And the last time, nothing.
Well, I assume this is yours?
Yes, that is mine. I put that in there a minute ago.
Okay, fair enough. Would have been great if there was anything else in there. Anything we hadn't found before.
Yeah, I think we got it all.
And if not, we'll maybe once we figure out how to get everything out, we can actually get that done.
Yeah.
Maybe you should put something on the table of contents.
Like adding it to a list and then it appears inside the bag.
Might work.
I like how he tried.
What if we write down Ausius and then we put out a second Ausius?
I think that's blasphemy.
Clearly, it's not going to work that way.
That would be blasphemy. my god.
I'm gonna take my bag of holding back before anyone else gets any ideas.
Yeah, no problem. Here, and here's the list of whatever it is.
Army of Aussius. Bag of holding. What's an Aussius?
But not find any registered stater on being called Aussius. Please elaborate.
Okay, you guys are having fun. You guys
I
having a
call
bit
him
fun.
Mini-me.
So I guess you guys are having some food.
Holding error 404, Ozzy's not found.
Stop making me. Stop it.
Wouldn't it be a dead Aussius because there's no oxygen in there?
I think Aussius can also breathe in.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
hold
we
his breath for an
both-
hour.
Oh, okay. I mean, okay. Yeah.
So
how long
It's a
would
very
that
young
Aussius have
Aussius.
been inside? Would have been
what?
even an hour-old baby Aussius then.
Are we done? Are we done?
I'm just gonna start helping myself to food at this point.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you all have a lovely lunch, except Alona, who's on the roof.
Yeah, should talk.
I think someone sent you a message.
Oh, I already told her.
Ah,
Well, we'll
okay,
get back
someone's...
to some-
Sorry, I was being asked something. While you're having lunch, a short maid-looking girl decides to come into the room. Can I come in?
Well, this is a rarity. We don't usually see you in here during lunchtime. What brought this on?
Curiosity.
Fair enough. All right, get over here, little one.
Yeah, there's nothing strange going on here as I pass a loaf of bread back towards my hood and a pair of ferret hands just grab it and vanish into the darkness. Hood again.
He probably looking at that and like, aww.
Nothing strange at all.
Did that animal just vanish in thin air?
It did.
Oh,
He does that.
okay. And the short girl decides to sit on some things and, look at you guys. Huh. So these are your companions, right?
That's right. Don't mind them. They're all a little bit strange, but I'm sure you'll get used to it.
I had a dumb idea just now, but that would probably be a bit much.
Go.
Like-
There is no dumb reply. Dumb reply. Only dumb people.
I mean, after okay, then I'm just a dumb person. Like, after that ferret just disappeared, that animal just disappeared. I undisguise myself, and then there's just a basically dead man sitting there. Hello.
Is he okay?
No.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I said I had a dumb idea, but I didn't want to do it.
Okay. Okay, so you didn't do it.
No, I didn't. That would probably be too much.
Okay. So, hello. I'm Poppy, and yeah, I've been living in a mansion for a while, and well, you guys travel a lot, so I was curious. Anyone who can roll a perception check for this little girl?
Sure.
Lovely.
Obviously, you don't see shit. You're blind. You're blind at this point.
I'm eating.
I'm eating. It's food.
I can't even eat
Raz,
it, so I am
food
focused.
in front of your face. More important.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wave a hand over my glass of water and prestidigitate it into wine.
Okay. As for Robert, you see this little girl, and you think at first glance with the way she's dressed, yes, she's a bit dressed cutely like some sort of young maid, but upon closer inspection, you notice that actually this girl is well, not as short as, let's say, a halfling or a or gnome. She is a bit of the shorter stature, maybe slightly shorter than a dwarf. Not sure about that. And she does look older. She actually looks mature if you upon closer inspection. She just talks a bit more cutesy. And you know that also most of her body is covered, and also she's wearing a big poofy hat. But you do notice that under the poofy hat there seems to be something there, like some sort of protrusion from her head. But you're not sure.
Do I? Oh wow.
Mhm.
I don't think anything of it. Like,
No, nothing. Okay.
no.
Alrighty then. And yeah, the girl joins you for lunch. Of course, she asks, "Mom, can I have some food?"
Yeah, sure. And I hand her a plate of some food for her.
Okay, and she just starts eating it. Pretty much no care in the world. Alright.
Oh, right. That reminds me.
Mhm.
There's one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, guys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There is a good chance that Poppy will be joining once the business in Lagana is finished. Given that she
Okay.
stays out of trouble.
I can do more than I look. I mean, I have special powers.
Yes, hon, we know. We know.
And what would those special powers be, if I may ask?
Well, I can put up an alarm.
I just glance over to the others.
Right.
That could certainly be handy.
And, oh, right, I can do this. And she points at, she points at Raz. Raz! You're being
Yes?
charmed. Throw a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, damn it.
You failed! So, Raz, you look at this
Yeah.
girl that's pointing at you, and you're like, wow, this girl is really nice. I'm cute, but also really nice. Yes, I am really interested. I want to say, hey, you, guy, fancy looking guy, why don't you get up and cluck like a chicken? Seems fun.
I'm waiting for him to cluck like a chicken.
Well, Raz, you are charmed.
Oh my god. Poppy!
All right, fine. She snaps her fingers, and you're uncharmed now, Raz. But you know you were charmed by her.
Yeah, luckily I don't count that as being in trouble, young lady.
Well, I was just showing off. What else can I do to show up? Nobody's hurt here. And the other
Which is
things
why I-
are more, well, dangerous.
That's why I say that. That's why I'm not counting it as being in trouble.
Okay. Also, Raz, how do you feel being charmed by this little girl? Or small girl? Raz?
I appreciate her talents, but I'm not too pleased. Next time, my turn. I can do that too.
That's why I did
What are
it.
you two talking
I
about?
use
Nothing
disguise
weird
self and disguise myself as Raz, and I just say next time. Just taunting him.
Oh, that's a neat
happened. What are you all
trick.
talking about? Nothing weird happened.
He just walks like a chicken. That's normal.
Yeah. Sometimes does it in his sleep.
He does?
Oh, I'm gonna use disguise self more often now to walk in, just disguising as him and talking like a chicken a little bit. Pretty fun.
Okay. You guys are having fun. Ilona's missing out on this, by the way.
I'm transferring back into the standard disguise format.
Taking note of Robert's mockery, is he eating anything at the moment?
Sorry, what?
Is he partaking in the food or drink?
She's taking some food and drinks, yes.
Oh, I'm just gonna snap my fingers onto the table and use prestidigitation to turn his food bitter.
He eats it. Huh. Doesn't taste as good. She doesn't. She's like, doesn't taste as good, but eats it anyway. Someone taught her to eat anything, almost anything.
Fair.
I'm gonna use also prestidigitation. I'm sorry, I want to mess with you right now. I'm gonna change the drink's flavor to taste like sour milk instead of Raz.
We're just having a presentation off? Okay, go ahead.
Oh dear.
And I raise my glass, well then, to our probably new party member.
She taps her, raises.
Cheers.
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 Raz,
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. And well, Poppy takes a sip. Robert, Veronica, and all take a sip. Does Raz take a sip? That's the more important thing. Raz.
Well, I'm gonna take a sip. I'm gonna try and play it off like it tastes fine.
Performance check. See if you can play off that you are not bothered by the sour milk taste.
Oh no.
Unless anyone has a passive insight lower than 8, people pretty much notice that you are not enjoying your drink right now.
Oh wow, I've got 17.
I'm gonna put the drink down.
Do you want some more, Raz?
No, but allow me to top up your glass.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm dropping all pretense at this point. I will snap out of sight, and you're about to be drinking a goblet that tastes rather like warm goat's piss. So, yeah.
Okay. After the whole lunch debacle.
Oh my god.
After the whole lunch debacle, some time passes, and it's now the afternoon, and a messenger comes to the mansion.
Oh dear. I get up and head over to the messenger. See what's going on.
Madam, I have a message from the palace concerning the kidnappings. Sent you a piece of paper.
Thank you.
He's a guy. Okay. Say, Newman, do you read it?
Yeah, may as well. Let's see what they have to say.
So, it reads the following. Thank you for your services in arresting the suspects. They have been interrogated. They were being interrogated by the Royal Investigation Team within the copper chains. However, they seem to have escaped. Witnesses report that the woman in question pulled out some sort of device and escaped with her fellow suspect. They are currently at large, and we believe that they might be leaving the city soon to avoid persecution. Make sure be on standby as we investigate further. Do not be alarmed. The nobles will be safe. We might even enforce some extra guards around each victim's home.
Of course they did.
Right.
Well, good news,
Question.
bad news time.
Was that device perhaps something that looked like a rod?
I was just reading it. I haven't actually told you guys about what's going on yet.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
That's
I
fine.
didn't know.
That's all. And the last part says, we still thank you for your services. A proper reward is being discussed as it is right now. It is believed that we will award you a total of 200 gold for your group's efforts in recovering the nobility.
Minus 57.
Okay. Well, good
75.
news, bad news, guys. What do you want to hear first?
Don't
Bad
care.
news.
Bad news? Okay.
Like,
Well, the bad news is that our prisoners seem to have absconded from the copper chains, which is
As
the
if they
Dallas
didn't already
dungeon.
head towards them.
God damn it.
The good news is that they're discussing rewards, and it's going to be, well, they're estimating around 200 gold for the group. But
Nice.
given
For-
everything
40
that's going
for each
on,
I told that lady to give me all her belongings. Where? She had nothing on under the armor. Where would she? Oh. Okay.
So about 40 gold for everyone.
you would think she has all the items, but if you think about it, might have been part of the armor she's wearing.
Damn being a gentleman.
right. Poppy,
Huh? Yes? What?
could you be a dear and get this one to your uncle?
Do I have to?
What did I say about not getting in trouble?
I know, but he's grumpy. Oh, fine. Takes the message and just goes upstairs.
She's always like that. Though she seems to have gotten better since the year I haven't seen her.
It's nice though that our reward will be slightly more than what I currently have.
That's nice.
Anyone want to join me on a visit to that vampire from recently? I just had a thought just now.
You want to go to the Baron's home?
Mm-hmm.
You could probably visit him and tell him what's been going on, if he hasn't been informed already.
Guess I'll do that.
Might as well get that out of the way.
All right. Who's all going to the Baron? Also, alone? Are you coming off down from the roof?
Didn't hear anything happening, right?
Fair. Does anyone want to get Ilona from the roof?
Nope.
I already tried multiple times, so no.
Did all just tell that Ilona's on the roof?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyone?
Oh, I don't know yet.
I told her at the table, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did?
Okay, then we'll say everyone knows that Ilona's on the roof, and if you want to go get her, you can go there. Then everyone can decide.
You
if
know
they-
what? No, I'm not gonna go there, but I'm gonna summon one of my undead pirate companions
You don't
up on
see.
the roof. And
You have to
have
go. You're gonna have to go to the upper floors and go and then summon it right there, because you need to see it. Remember, you can't just cast it just anywhere you want.
God damn it.
I mean, I could write a note and send my ferret up there with it.
If that works.
Nice try. But if you can just think, put minion on roof. Yeah, you. That's like it's too.
One-
Yeah.
Time to stretch things into the far beyond. As a bonus action, you can summon that thing at a point you see within 60 feet.
Point you see, you don't see the point.
What if I throw a rock up there, or a stone, summon my minion there, and then have it grab onto a ledge or something so it can pull itself up onto the roof, and from there on. get
We
to
don't see the stone.
But if I throw it up there, and it's in the air,
Do you see it? Do you see
Are you seriously considering?
in its arch, is what he means.
in its arc?
Yes.
As the stone is flying.
It's
So
gonna
that
take
might
fall
land it-
damage depending how you throw it. So you can try it that way if you want to be interesting. But you can also just go outside, look around if you see alone on the roof, and do it like that.
Or look outside.
nah, I'm
of
gonna
the
visit the
window.
Baron now.
Huh? I know you're trying to be clever, but I'm like, it's unnecessarily clever.
Yes, I know. Like I said, I'm stretching it into the far beyond, so like, don't worry.
Okay, Raz,
Windows.
you're gonna do your ferret thing.
I shall do my ferrety thing.
Okay. Hello there. A ferret is scratching at your, poking at your, well, ankle because it can sneak up there easily.
Hey there.
It,
Wanna play with Fluff?
mhm. And it holds out a note in its mouth.
Ah, okay. I open the note.
Raz, what you write?
It just says, "Come on down."
On down. What would that mean? Fine. Go down.
Yeah, you make your way down to the rest of the party.
Hey guys, does my skin look any better? Like any less pale?
Was it pale before?
Yeah, it looked a bit pale this morning, but
Seems
No,
fine to
you're
me.
still pale. You're still a bit pale.
It still looks like shit.
well. did get a lot of sun.
Considering she's pale, probably bird poo then.
To be fair, if it looks like shit, it's pretty brown.
No. Take the avian variant of food.
How about your ferret is back, Raz?
I think I make ointments and tinctures for that. I can't speak. I'm
Okay.
gonna. Ferret's gonna go back in the hood.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyhow, you guys are gonna go to the. Yeah. You guys are gonna go to the Baron's house. It takes a bit, but you eventually make it there.
Well, I'm not sure anybody even wanted to go there with me.
I thought everyone wanted to. Who doesn't want it? Who didn't wanna?
I already said I was coming because we might
Oh,
want to
okay.
let him know what's going on.
So we have
Oh, yeah.
Robert, Veronica, Ozius.
Didn't want to go, but fine, he'll go with the group.
If you didn't want to
Oh,
go,
well.
you can stay.
No, he's going.
Okay, Raz is going, I think,
Yeah.
and Alona's going probably.
So you guys did
Whatever.
inform me about this plan, right?
So,
Or I just tag along, don't know where we're going.
You probably know where they're going.
Okay. Well, still have a vial from his blood, so half a vial. I'd figure out what I could do with it.
Okay.
have a vial
Yeah.
of vampire's blood? Or what?
Yeah, it's a Veil Vampire's blood.
If there's any like leftover big hunks of like bread, cheese, meat, whatever from lunch, I'm gonna grab them and chuck them in the bag of holding.
Okay, add
Um,
2 rations to your rations.
Yay!
Hang on, I think I forgot this where did you get that vial from?
From the vampire crypt.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there at that
He
point.
wasn't
so,
there.
like,
Basically, but no, the Baron's thing is a vampire script, and it turns out the guy who
Was there
Raz
in the
bumped into
kidnapping?
was an imposter of that vampire.
yeah, that much I know.
And yes, Alona asked for a vial of blood as a reward for saving him, and he gave it.
Okay.
So yes, she has a vial of vampire blood.
Okay.
Okay. So you head into there. I'm not going to load in the map because you're not going to clown around the map. You're just going to meet. You're just going to knock and says like, and then the guards will let you in. And it's like one of the guards says, "Whom are you visiting today?"
The Baron.
That's not the Baron.
Brother.
The brother of the
His
Baron.
brother.
His brother.
Oh, I don't know who is who in the gang. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ah, yes, Master Gelden.
Is he available, or is he busy with the whole situation regarding the imposter?
From what I've heard, the imposter is being extra interrogated now. The master is currently below in the basement. I shall check if he's awake or working. A moment. He heads down into the cellar and probably into what you guys know as the crypt, where probably your vampire ally is sitting,
Sleeping,
maybe sleeping.
maybe.
He comes back up. Master Gilden is ready to receive you.
All right, let's go have a talk, shall we?
And you all head down into the vampire crypt. Being led into it, I mean, nothing strange. Ba-bam. So here you go, sitting up, laptop, at his desk. And you all enter the crypt. Blip, blop, blop. The guard leads you in, and you see him sitting behind on his desk. And he looks at you. Ah, if it isn't my saviors.
It's good to see you, Gelden.
Let's see.
How's freedom been treating you?
It is more free than it was before, but since the investigation going on and the suspects getting away apparently within the royal confines, it just puts me once again entombed in my own home. Less than before, though.
At least you're not trapped inside a coffin.
It was quite dreary.
I can only imagine.
So, what brings you to me? Wish to gauge more about our mutual foe, or you have another reason for coming?
Well, one of the reasons we're here is because Robert had a question, I believe.
Yes, I do. Quite simple actually. Those people that put you into the sarcophagus,
Yeah?
did they perhaps take any blood from you?
Yes, they have. Several times, I reassure you, sir.
I see. Okay. Well, I've kind of tried to connect some dots as I've been thinking about, and I believe those blood samples that they took from you were what was helping them put an imposter in your place. That somehow, with your blood, they were able to make a disguise that is everlasting. We rescued some nobles recently from a repurposed bunker with an entire laboratory buried.
So
Weird
I've read.
stuff.
So I've read in the reports. Yes.
Yes, and those prisoners had also been taking blood from them. So I was assuming that there's a connection between that. Oh,
Perhaps
I just wanted to
so.
confirm.
But then again, unlike the other prisoners, I am not of a living stature, so my blood cannot be used that easily for such a thing. It is very possible. I do believe that. If my hypothesis makes more sense, but using vampire blood in the living has dire consequences.
Wait, is your blood toxic?
Dear, have you have maybe heard a lot of legends of the vampiric kind? In some cases, people say our blood gives power, but enthralls you to us, forcing you to drink our blood constantly or else start decaying rapidly. Other cases, you become as mortal as us, but be able to walk during the daylight, still enthralled to us. In other cases, it is simply poisonous to the soul, eroding it away, turning you into what is essentially an undead. In other cases, it might turn you into a vampire yourself, obtaining the power of immortality and the thirst for blood yourself. There are many legends, but nobody's sure what it truly does. Well, except we who give the blood.
Obviously. Though the reason I'm asking is because there was an awful lot of experimentation with various poisons and just a lot of confusing liquids going on down there.
I
I'm not
see.
sure.
It
not
also
sure if poison.
seems... Sorry, you first.
I'm not sure if poisonous is the right word because it just spreads sickness. Not 100% sure if that's poisonous, but it's close enough.
Yeah, there were also a few beasts roaming around in those tunnels down there that also seemed to be infected by something. And we also
Yeah.
found a room that was essentially filled with that weird poisonous liquid.
Yeah, that was like not fun.
No, that wasn't.
Perhaps a side product from the blood experiments, though I'm not sure on that part.
I mean, we definitely know they're experimenting with something because we've managed to translate one of their reports. And I'll pull the scroll out of the back, the translated scroll out of the bag of holding, and offer it to the skeleton to have a look at.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it seems to be they have been what you would prescribe as experimenting with liquids, a concoction. It could have my blood in it, could have any blood in it. It could also be unrelated. Interesting. And what is your hypothesis on this?
They're either trying to make a toxin out of it, or they're just trying to extract like poison and maybe your power from it. I don't know. They're maybe trying each of the legends you just mentioned.
No, I don't think that's it, if I may inquire.
There's a lot of things they can do.
They are
with it.
replacing a lot of nobles. Either they want to gain political power, or there is some other goal, but yeah. They're replacing all the nobles. You included. At least they tried.
Well, you've said quite a few times your blood causes a sort of enthrallment. It could be they're just trying to bring the nobles under their control. I mean, then you don't have to worry about replacing anyone.
Well, the enthrallment was just a fairy tale. I know what my blood does to the living. And the answer is pretty simple. It has various effects depending on the state of a person.
Like?
But most of the time, It is simply put, if you would drink my blood right now in a healthy state, it would just simply taste like blood, just a little bit more acidity. It might be slightly poisonous to you even. As I said, it depends on person by person. In some cases, if they're more magically attuned, it might have different effects. Whatever it said, it is not recorded in any vampire history what one's blood's consuming of one vampiric nature does. Though there are stories that it's mostly used to track down if you have blood of a vampire, that you can take some of its information from it. You know, where I might be at that point, or how healthy I am, or even what I'm plotting and thinking. But it's not sure what it does. It simply depends on the state of the person.
I take out my
That's a
file and look
lot
at
of
the blood.
hypotheticals.
You said that it is indeed poisonous. I would like to ask you about the blood extraction thing again. Do you know about how much they extracted from you?
I was barely conscious at those points. They made sure that when extracting my blood, that I was unable to even do the smallest little things.
Hmm.
It might be the reason
Yes.
why I was entrapped in my own tomb rather than with the rest of the nobility. They
Because
feared
I
that I
had-
might kill them or might escape.
Because I had a thought. The toxicity, the poison that we found in the bunker. Perhaps they found a way to.
To what?
He's
My
like,
cam froze.
Oh, it's 10 p.m. He lost connection.
Ah.
Yeah, I forgot. He still has the disconnect issue. It was 10 p.m. His internet's disconnected.
Oh, boy.
Weird issue.
Yeah, I was looking at the times like I was about to ask, don't you have to go in a moment? But he was asking questions like, that's fine. No, timer out. Give him a moment.
do you think he's coming back?
No.
His internet got off.
We already know that in his household, 10 p.m. internet gets cut off, so people have to do do other shit. Give it a moment. He's probably gonna disconnect in a moment. Lodi, you said something about something?
Well, I took out the vial and like look at the blood because if he says that I can see the state of a vampire or thoughts or anything, I just want
If you drink it.
Oh, if I drink it.
Yes.
No, I might save that for later.
Well,
Okay, he's giving me what he wanted to say. And then we'll try and start wrapping up.
Good idea.
I mean, no, you gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Like, he's on mobile now. We didn't pay attention to the time. Because we were so invested in getting something done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a mistake.
I mean, if it depends on the health of the individual, the prisoners were not being fed from what we could see. Maybe they were trying to experiment
Weaken
with, weaken them enough to see what happened in different states.
Hard to tell. There's just a lot that can happen.
Okay. This was Mary Tiny. Basically, because they said that the blood was poisoned and used to, and it was extracted. Passive recently found a way to separate the poison from the blood. The poison is what we found left in the bunker, and the blood was used for whatever to make the potion or whatever for the imposter. So basically, saying that they split the poison, what is the poison element from the vampire blood, and used the vampire blood to make the disguise.
That would make the most sense.
They purified the blood. Ooh.
Even a vampire. That is very likely. Or some sort of essence. I am not too well versed in all alchemic things. But if they had a researcher who basically is a master alchemist, yes, they might be able to pull off such a stunt.
It's highly possible they did. And unfortunately, he got away.
Or perhaps grant the vampires without the drawbacks is also what he's asking. And he's like, well, that would depend on the state of the soul. The vampire powers are more based on the state of the soul in the vessel, not what blood circulates in it.
Well, they definitely had a master alchemist, the guy with the sort of needle gloves. Fit the bill.
And, yeah, Robert's been taken over by me. Right, and then Robert goes like, I see, I see, state of the soul, state of the soul. He looks at himself, thinks, I get it, yeah, okay, thanks. The vampire, is that all you wish to inquire about? Do you have any idea where they might have fled to when they escaped? Maybe give me an idea where to hunt for my prey?
Well, according to the message that was sent to the manor, it's likely that they'll escape. That they've fled Lagana entirely. So we'll have to figure out where they went.
Clever.
I mean, if it helps, I could show you what they look like, unless you already know.
I have not seen them yet. I was going to do that late in the night, when they were tired of all the questions and methods of extracting. Sure,
Makes
show
sense.
me.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to cast Silent Image and use it to show Gelton what the alchemists look like.
Okay. He looks at the alchemist. I know that man. He is indeed someone who was in line to become a master alchemist, but left the academy because he did not conduct the research he wanted to. Yes. Braylon is his name. He is a disturbing individual. I've seen him before because he was researching... Yes, the acids. He was researching a certain corrosive material that could be used against the machines in Mernium. However, he wanted to use living people as test subjects to see if the acid would affect them, and that is strictly forbidden outside of war times. We do not want to cause harm to our people.
Yeah, I can see why he left the academy.
Even suggesting using the prisoners, which I would approve, but the council was against it, saying that using even those from the cleft would just be considered hypocritical. Or some say punishment, the death by possible acid, is more freedom than suffering.
I suppose they have a point either way. There's something to be said for both causes, I guess.
Indeed. Anything? Is that all you require from me?
For the moment. We're going to check if we can maybe find them around Lagana. If not, we might just have to leave and figure out where they went. We'll keep you posted either way.
I'll be delighted to have any news about my captors. I have very much special words for them. And he does a very sly grin. And
When you say
anyone with
academy,
passive insight knows that he has murderous intent in mind.
I don't think you need any kind of insight for that. I think you basically just...
What?
when you say the academy, you mean the magical academy?
No, the Alchemic Academy.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
There's
Um,
not just one academy in the city, you know.
I'm
Then we've been
nearly
there as
sure.
well.
I figured I'd ask.
Oh, no, Ozzy's and I have been there.
The Nerybird Academy. Though he wasn't in the city, he was at the actual academy in the south of the Kingdom of Lagana.
Okay.
I'll just grab the... You know what? You guys have the regional map, but I'll just show you the regional map real quick. So you guys can see. On the south, there's a little tower called Nerybird. That's the Alchemic Institute's main building, so...
It's all the way on the coastline.
Yeah. And all the way to the north coastline is the Peak of Lagana, and that's where the magic is done. So south, Nerybird, that's alchemy. North is magic.
Sometimes.
So I'm guessing you're leaving.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys.
Oh,
All the
before I
questions.
disappear. This was the companion that was with him. I'll cast Silent Image again and show him the
Velvet.
female guard.
He looks at the woman. That hair. Something
Yeah, she had
odd
a
about her.
sword of teleportation on her and a bloodletting sword. So,
Bloodletting swords.
yes.
You can see some concern in his face. You're saying that he has a sword specially meant to make their victims bleed.
Correction. Had.
Um,
She had the sword. Unless you threw it away, Raz.
no, and I'm just going to pull the sword out of the bag of holding.
He examines it and asks you a question. Did she fire some sort of red bolt at you?
She didn't get the opportunity.
Yeah, she didn't.
No, she did attack you.
But did she cast the fire?
She casted something at you. You don't know what, but during the fight, she did cast something at you.
She may well have done.
I rewatched the ending. I know that Velvet got one attack in and it missed.
Whom?
Now you mention it, she didn't. It missed, but I think so.
Do I have to remind you what happened after she did that? It looked like she was in pain.
I think doing it hurt her actually.
Then it's true. That woman is a hemomancer.
A what?
A hemomancer. One that uses their own blood that is magically enhanced to cast dangerous spells. It is believed that it is of vampiric descent. And it is true that some vampires may be able to manipulate blood in certain ways, but it is considered, how would I say, messy to use.
I would assume so. You only have so much blood in you after all.
Guessing a hemomancer with access to your blood probably is not a good combination.
Indeed, indeed. But it explains the blood experiments, as you mentioned. And that sword, as you say, was meant to cut people open to start them bleeding. That is indeed another way for hemomancers to gain the blood components they need. Instead of using their own blood, they would use any blood used from the wounds they cut open to do their magics.
Oh boy.
That's great.
That woman might just be a lot more dangerous than we had initially anticipated then. I guess we're gonna have to let the palace know about this. Fun times.
Indeed. Though, omit the part that you might know is of vampiric descent. Don't want to alert the public.
Of course. Hemomancer should be more than enough of a panic
Indeed.
inducer.
Indeed.
Yeah, I do not remember any vampire part of this conversation.
Mhm. Excellent. That's all?
For the
Yeah,
time being.
That's
Yeah.
been very helpful, thank you.
Yeah. We'll keep you updated with everything that's going on.
Thank you as well. And I'm guessing with that you all go back to the mansion.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
hunting.
Okay, you all head back with the new information about that Velvet is a hemomancer. Or at least
Vampire.
believe. Well, you're not sure she's a vampire, but she definitely uses blood for magics or any type of blood.
She's a bloodbender.
Basically. And with that said, I think we should. When you head back, you're like exhausted. You're done with shit. But luckily, when you arrive, one of the servants hands you a bag of 200 gold.
Ooh.
Huh. This certainly.
You may distribute it equally. And clearly Veronica is taking Alona's cut.
At least 75 gold that she would have gotten. Yeah.
No, 200 gold for the whole group, not for per person, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
So it's not going to cover it.
It's not going to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've paid it.
Oh, you can have it.
Oh, you... Okay. With that said, as one problem is over, another one emerges, and more mysteries have been uncovered. But it only answers to more questions. Why is a hemomancer kidnapping nobles? What is their true plan? And why they're working with, essentially put, a questionable alchemist from Lagana? What is their end goal? And even though the woman now seems to be without a sword and supplies, why did she have them in the first place? Where did she get them? Well, we're gonna have to tune in next time to find out what the hell is happening in this continent. Because things just got more spicy. Yemomancer. Yeah, Yemomancer. And, Alona, please don't anger don't even anger your gods anymore.
It's complicated. Relationship complicated.
It might have knockoff effects. If you know what I mean. Anyhow, with that said, it is goodbye from me, your Dungeon Master. It's goodbye from Jeremy, who had to go. It is goodbye from Moonraven.
Bye-bye.
It is goodbye from Zale.
Bye-bye.
It is goodbye from Inge.
Bye, everyone.
It is goodbye from Aeon. I don't know why my person is singing. Bye. I don't know why my person is singing. Remember to stay charged and catch you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.